is Classic FM.
Now, I detect when I listen to your scores, I think I hear a French. I think I hear bits of Sanson and Fauré. Are you conscious of that at all, a French style in you, or is it something that you can't hear in yourself?
Well, it's interesting because first of all, I don't analyze what my music is. It's not my duty, but I'm in love with the music of the 20th century more than anything. So it's the end of Saint-Saëns and the end of Fauré for sure. And actually, I don't listen to these composers at all. And I've listened to them maybe when I was a student, but since then I never listened to Saint-Saëns or Fauré. I'm into Ravel, Debussy, yes, and I still listen to them a lot. And every one after that, Messiaen and Boulez, and I was listening to Exposante Fixe by Boulez a few days ago, and it's just absolutely stunning. So I'm really into this section of the music, and even Mahler, but Puccini, early century. I'm not very much into the 19th century music. I like to go back to Mozart if I have to, even past Beethoven. Beethoven is come on, I'm kidding, but let's say Beethoven and Mozart. But Mozart is closer to my heart and closer to my sensitivity because of the restrained emotions and this thin line. On the edge of the razor. His music is always dark, or there's a density, even when it's kind of joyful. It's never, I don't think Mozart's music is happy. There's something always hiding there, which is very deep and very sad and very dark, and I like that. I think I try to convey that in my music unconsciously. It's just there. Yes,
I mean, there's tremendous humanity, isn't there, in his pieces, even when they're completely instrumental. There's no voice singing.
Yep.
You hear humans.
The quartets, I mean, the quartets, Quatuor Didier Haydn, like the D minor, these quartets are just so soulful that they're heartbreaking.
Yes. Just a couple of practical questions. When you're doing an animated feature like Rise of the Guardians, are there particular issues for a composer because of the length of time it takes to make and the process of animation that's different from real action?
Well, you have to match a lot the film with precision because you have to hit a lot of moments. But funnily enough, this film, which to me looks like a live-action movie because of the quality of the image and the marvelous ambition that the filmmakers had in doing something really rich, doesn't look fake. There's something about the energy that the filmmakers brought to me when we started that was so enthusiastic about the music. It was not like, oh, let's just fill the gaps, No, there was a real desire of having a storytelling arc that the music would convey. And there's something really rare in this film, and that's Peter Ramsey, the director, who wrote that. He has a great sensitivity to music. He knows very well. I mean, I don't know many directors who could drop the name of Bill Evans or Art Pepper or Ravel or with very precise works, and so he listens to music a lot. He got a great musical education, and every scene and every sequence, one after the other, have a very good rhythm, a very good inner rhythm. And rhythm is important in music, of course, but in films too. And when you start laying music to a picture, if the rhythm, the inner scene rhythm, or the sequences, one after another, are put together, don't work. If they don't work, the music will not match. It's very difficult to find a tempo, to find a change of tempo. And in this movie, everything was flawless. It was easy, very easy. So it's a lot of work because there's an hour and a half of full symphonic orchestra, the LSO, but there's some kind of an easiness to it because of the fact that the movie is easy to grasp.
Yes. There's such clarity in your work related to the scenes and the characters, and it's not over fussy, which some composers can maybe get into the habit of. Is that something you're feeling consciously, or do you think it's a natural, intuitive?
I think it's both. It is intuitive because I've always liked clarity like Debussy and Ravel and the French orchestration type, more than the German or the Viennese kind of heavy orchestration. I mean, not heavy in a bad sense, but just full. Even though I try in some films to use this full sound, because it's necessary, because you need impact, because you need width or depth of field. But I like, I spoke about Mozart. He's the king of clarity. Every line is clear, you can hear every line, and everything is very precise. Of course, the orchestra that Mozart had was not the same as the one Ravel had. So if I listen, I've been listening to both a lot, and let's say that I'm trying to match in between some kind of, but I'm not trying hard. It's just my taste. It's become my taste because I've been fed with this composer, and I have empathy with their music, but it's important also for me in movies, because I think that by having clarity, and maybe that's something I learned from doing a lot of European movies, not only French movies, but even British movies. When there's dialogue and there's music, you have to respect the range of the voice. Could it be Nicole Kidman in Birth? Could it be Geoffrey Rush or Colin Firth in King's Speech? They have a tone, they have a range, and the music has to take care of that and frame it gently and beautifully. And that's what I call clarity, leaving some air, some space between the lines. And since I like to have to play with counterpoints, which is many lines following themselves in parallel, I like to keep that very clear so that it doesn't get mushy and thick. Clarity, but it's like in life. It keeps your brain with clarity. But it's a very hard job. I don't get there easy. It's a lot of work, and I always try to cut down ideas so I can get into more simplicity. That's clarity.